So first of all, what does the word colony mean? Well, a colony is land that is settled or taken over by another country. For example, the 13 colonies were settled by European countries, but all of the 13 colonies eventually fell under the control of England. And when we refer to the colonists, we are referring to those living in the colonies, besides the Native Americans who were there first. Most of the colonists were from England, and all of the colonists would eventually be considered British subjects. So when talking about the different regions of colonial America, we divide the colonies up into 3 sections: New England, the Middle Colonies, and the Southern Colonies. So let's start to the north in New England. New England consists of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. There was no Vermont yet, and Maine at this point was considered part of Massachusetts. Colonists in New England had to deal with extremely cold winters. While the land along the coast was flat, inland was very hilly and mountainous, and this, combined with a rocky soil, made farming difficult in New England. However, the cold did reduce the spread of disease. Because of the cold climate and bad soil, New England farms were small. Therefore, New Englanders relied on other businesses to make money, such as furs, shipbuilding, fishing, and trading. Timber was desperately needed by England to build ships, homes, furniture, and other goods, and New England had vast forests. New Englanders also often looked to the sea for sources of income and developed an extensive fishing industry that still exists today. Whale oil was a valuable commodity. It was used in lamps and soaps, and Nantucket and other fishing communities developed large whaling businesses. For the most part, the colonists relied on English imports of finished goods, such as glass, linens, paint, and household items, and New Englanders prospered off the Atlantic trading network. What historians refer to as the triangular trade developed between England, Africa, the Caribbean, and North America, as mostly raw materials flowed from the colonies to Europe or England, and slaves and manufactured goods were shipped to the colonies. Boston, New England's largest city, greatly benefited from the triangular trade, developing into a major shipping and trading port. Because New England never developed the large, spread-out farms found in the rest of the colonies, the people there lived closer to each other and had much more social interactions centered around towns. The church was central to New England life. We discussed the strict religious rules and persecution put in place by the Puritans of Massachusetts in a previous video. And while the other New England colonies enjoyed more religious freedom than Massachusetts, there was much less religious tolerance in New England than in the other regions of the 13 colonies. Because of their close proximity, town meetings became an important part of governing local communities. These meetings, while existing in other regions, were especially important in New England in establishing a tradition of self-government and democracy. We will look closer at governing in the colonies in the next video, but remember town meetings in New England as being an especially important part of their social and political makeup. We will also be looking at how England tried to maintain its grip on this growing importance of North American trade. England passed laws such as the Navigation Acts, which mandated that only British ships could trade with the colonies and that all exports had to travel through English ports, in essence blocking their European rivals like France and the Netherlands out of lucrative trade with the colonies.